It was hard to remember that far back. There were tents, there were kites, there were goats. There was the golden pyramid of the Mistress of Malakoi. Sometimes the ground was green and soft with grass. She'd roll in the dew on bright mornings with the other children, laughing. And sometimes it was dry and brown, dusty, and they'd pull their sleeves over their mouths and noses and blink messages to each other from the openings to the tents. When the wind was up, the kite stretched the strings tight, pulled at the tent pegs. The children had to make sure nothing came loose and that the goats were staked, but otherwise, they were free to do what they wanted. She was a child of the Dumnani'i, and their priesthood was from Valiba, so they were raised communally. They were ash. They spent most of their time between tents, where the fires were. They floated here and there. Sharli's name was given to her by the other children. It meant freedom in the old language, and they chose it because she'd never do what she was supposed to do. She was always running between quarters, getting into trouble, and eating from the wrong tents. The Dumnani'i would feed any child they recognized, but turn their backs on unfamiliar ones, and she was forbidden food. Sharli took it anyway, sneaking through the gaps between the tents and the earth, gorging on blood sausage dried for the winter. More often than not, she'd be dragged by the arm to the priests and returned to her creche, her bangles copper and blue cinched tight to the right ankle, identifying her proper place. But sometimes, she'd be gone for days, sheltering with the goats for warmth at night, exploring during the day, free. The edict went out from the priesthood of the Dumnani'i that all the heavenly brothers living amongst the people of the western steppe should be brought to the knife and thereby return to the place where they wished to be. This should be done at dawn on the 7th moon, when the sun was above the summit, so that the brothers' passage should be most easily made, and also so that there should be sufficient time for the preparation of goats, the ceremonial washing of the 10 summer children, and the composition of the funerary odes. The proclamation was delivered in the proper way from the proper place, and there was gladness in all the tents of the communes, and around the fires joyful songs were sung of the sacrificing. Why then did Sharli weep when she heard them? She went to the tent where her heavenly brother was. He was her firebird, her pet, her friend. He never left that place to go out into the sun, which was the expected thing for him. Instead, he kept in the shadows or burrowed beneath the blankets. He had never caught his flame, like his brothers had. If he was a flame, like he should have been, he would have burned the tent to the ground. Sharli would never have been able to touch him, but here he was, tittering, and she gathered him to her chest. Where a firebird is of a good size, bigger than a goat, smaller than a horse, this brother, Sharli called him Tinamam, which meant nothing except its sound, was a miniature, and where a firebird was 4 whole limbs, Tinamam was a tripod, his left rear leg at the foot so wizened and twisted from birth that one day it fell away. Sharli kept it now in a box against her bedroll, but it would never attach itself again. Where all firebirds are male, Tinamam was a female, and though by the fire she was spoken of as a brother, as he, Sharli knew the truth, though she could never speak it, since there had never been a firebird like this, and there was no word for a heavenly sister in Sharli's language, nor was there any precedent for making one.